Okay, hello, this is Sir Riel, and in this video, I am going to discuss Lesson 1. We have Introduction to Art Appreciation. So I know that you already have backgrounds naman in this subject or in this course since pinag-aralan naman siya during your elementary or secondary level. But now let us try to have a deeper understanding on the artists and their art piece, also dun sa art forms, and especially on how to appreciate our own way of creating arts. So every first day ng class, lagi kong tinatanong yung mga students ko, what are your expectations to art appreciation? And then common na answer nila, of course sir, to appreciate arts. And then tapos na yun. No? Yun lang yung thinking nila or yung understanding nila about the course or about the subject. Maybe because they are not totally aware. Now, when we talk about art, art is everywhere. No? What we see, what we hear, what we do is definitely art. Kahit yung mga small things na ginagawa natin, like paano yung way mo ng pagkain. Nakakamay ba? Naka-kutsara tinidor? Naka-chopstick? So that is an example of art. Even yung pagbubunga nga ng nanay mo, like mas mabilis pa siyang mag-rap kay Glock 9, yung words na lumalabas sa kanya, that is an example of art. Even yung time na in-express mo yung feelings mo, yung emotions mo, no? Yung time na pinaasa ka, iniwan ka, that is also an example of art. Always remember na when we talk about art, art is everywhere. And also, during ng first day ng class, lagi tayo nagkakaroon ng orientation ng course. And dinidiscuss doon what will be your outcomes-based assessment, your topics, and some other requirements. And some of you ay hindi talaga excited sa subject, no? Nadadalian, but they are not excited when it comes to outcomes-based assessment. Kumbaga, kinakabahan na agad. Naku, meron magpe-paint kami, may sketch activity, may sculpting activity, may mga group presentations, meron pang editing, meron pang mga performance for music and dance, and etc. No? Kumbaga, napapaisip agad na hindi ko kaya, nakakahiya, hindi ako marunong, hindi maganda yung work ko. So, I just want to remind you na in this course, we will try to appreciate kung ano man yung skills or talent na meron ka. Because I believe na lahat ng tao ay may kakayahan. Kaya niyong mag-drawing, kaya niyong magsayaw, kaya niyong kumanta, and etc. Nahihiya lang. No? So, again, in this course, we will try na i-uplift natin yung self-confidence ng bawat isa. We will try na i-appreciate not just only yung um, skills and talent ng classmates natin, but also yung sarili nating kakayahan. Okay? So, let us proceed to the intended learning objectives. So, after the completion of the chapter, students will be able to, number 1, explain the importance of art in humanities. Second, memorize different art forms and its principles. Third, explain the perspective from different philosophers. In this lesson, we are going to talk about humanities and the arts. Why do we need to study humanities? Fundamental principles of humanities, nature of art, functions of art as viewed by philosophy, art is an artisan, the art forms, and what is art appreciation. Okay, let us start to discuss the definition of humanities. So etymologically, humanities came from the Latin word humanus, which means human, cultured, and refined. So when we talk about humanities, sabi, ito daw ay human. Paano ito naging human? So to be a human, it is to show characteristics such as um, rationality, benevolence, and also care. Kumbaga, to be a human, alam mo kung ano yung tama sa mali. Alam mo kung ano yung mabuti sa masama. No? Unlike sa other animals na hindi nila alam kung ano yung malinis sa marumi. Okay? Again, to be a human is to show characteristics such as rationality, benevolence, and also care. How about cultured and refined? It is to show a good taste and also manners indicative of good and proper education. Kumbaga, sabihin na natin as ito ay naipapasa natin from other people, no? Meron tayong bondedness, meron tayong tinatawag na knowledge whereas ang ginagawa natin doon ay pinapasa natin from the next generation. Okay? So in short, when we talk about humanities, it is the studies on how people process from the time na nag-exist ka up until the present. Kumbaga, siya yung tinatawag nating documentation ng um, documentation of our human experiences. At isa sa malaking part when we talk about humanities ay yung tinatawag nating art. No? Anong kinalaman ng art when we talk about humanities? Kumbaga, when we talk about art, through humanities, we can express our emotions, our imaginations, also yung thoughts natin, even yung feelings, yung imagination, even the intuition, and etc. No, we are able to express, kumbaga, extension of our personality. Okay, let us proceed to discuss nature of human arts. So the word art etymologically comes from the Aryan or Indian root R, which means to join or put together. The Latin term ars, artis, mean everything that is artificially made or composed by man. So by the way, the Asian Latin term ars, okay, so this term was first known. Use of the word comes from the 13th century manuscript na ang ibig sabihin ay arts, skills, or craft. And kung mapapansin natin from the 13th century, mas nag-evolve na siya into 21st century. Nagkaroon na tayo ng bagong method, bagong process on how can we appreciate arts. No? Kumbaga before, ano lang yan, painting, sculpting, pero ngayon marami na. Very advanced na tayo. No? Very digital na tayo. Okay? So next tayo. So another definition of art, art constitutes one of the oldest and the most important means of expression developed by man. So it is something to do with expressing something or sabihin na natin as interpretation of your particular emotions. Kumbaga meron tayong tinatawag na combination ng sarili mo and also yung soul na meron ka for you to create an art. Example to this one ay writing a music, no? And then nagbe-base tayo dun sa emotions na meron tayo during that time. So mas napapaganda natin yung work natin once na sinasamahan natin siya ng imaginations natin, ng emotions natin, ng thoughts natin. Another, even yung making a stories, no? Na nagdedepende naman tayo sa feelings natin, sa emotions natin, or dun sa mga experiences natin. So, this is a good definition of what we call as art. Next, so art particularly refers to the skillful arrangement or composition of some common but significant qualities of nature, such as sounds, it can be colors, line, movements, words, stones, and wood to express our feelings, thoughts, imaginations, and dreams in an enjoyable way. Sama na rin natin dito, even in music, theater, film, dance, and other performing arts, as well as literature and other media. Kumbaga, included din siya dun sa definition ng tinatawag nating arts. So let us make a short recap about the definition of art. Kumbaga, when we talk about art, art is an expression of our thoughts, our emotions, intuition, even imagination, sama na din natin, and our desire, no? Sama din natin yan. Kumbaga, it is our extension of our personality. It is our way of communication. And also, art it is something to do with your soul na ini-input mo or ini-include mo doon sa art piece na yon. So, hindi lang siya bagay. Kumbaga, meron tayong tinatawag na extension of our imagination or our soul. Okay? So, next tayo. Next slide. So, art can be classified into two. We have motivated or functional, and we have non-motivated or non-functional. Ano bang pinagkaiba nilang dalawa? So when we talk about motivated, these are served as art that make man's life better. No, pinapadali niya yung life na meron tayo, natutulungan niya tayo. So an example to this one, we have architecture, weaving, furniture making, and etc. So magbigay pa tayo ng example ng motivated. It can be yung ating unan, no? Kahit yung kama, even yung ating kwarto. So that is an example of what we call as motivated. So how about the non-motivated? Pag sinabi naman nating non-motivated or non-functional, pumapasok dito yung kailangan natin siya for beauty and also aesthetic. Examples natin, we have painting, sculpture, literature, and also music. Kumbaga, nakikita mo lang siya, no? Hindi kanya natutulungan personally, pero when it comes to motivation for motivation, kumbaga nilalapit niya tayo sa divine or kay God or nag-uplift ng self-confidence natin. That is what we call as non-motivated or non-functional. So next tayo. So all art forms generally have following functions. First, we have the human need for expression. This seems to build in human psyche or yung mind or soul na meron tayo. This need to express, to show, to exhibit what is hidden in man's inner world, his thoughts, emotions, imaginations, dreams, and aspiration are expressed in his art. Extension of our personality. So next tayo. Another, the social need for display, celebration, and for communication. It is not enough for man to express his inner world through his art, tulad nung nauna. He needs to share and convey it to others too. In this way, others may know, may empathize, and may realize that people are interconnected. An example this one, yung mga fiestas, no, foundation, art exhibit, and etc. Then yung pwede nating example for this one. Kumbaga nagkakaroon tayo ng interconnected, bondedness, closeness with other people. And also, mas mas na-share natin kung ano man yung personality na meron tayo sa ibang tao para mas ma-motivate din sila. Next. So the physical needs for functional objects. All art is man-made. In the effort to make human life better, objects are created like the wheel, which is also classified as art. All of technology is art. It is careful combination of form and function. So this is based on the premise that if an object is to perform its function, its form or the design should also allow it to do so. In short, ang pinaka sinasabi dito ay lahat ng creation, lahat ng nagawa ng tao ay may function, no? May purpose, not just only for motivation, but also pinapadali niya yung life na meron tayo. Okay? So next. So we are done defining what is humanities. Again, when we talk about humanities, documentation ng kabuuan, kumbaga pag-aaral from the time na nag-exist ka up until the present. We also done discussing the meaning of art. Now, when we talk about art, it is composed by man, and also art ay extension of our personality, no? Extension ng ating imagination, ng thoughts natin, ine-express natin through art. Okay? Next, how about art as viewed by philosophy? So, when we talk about philosophy as a field of discipline has attempted to explain almost all aspects of human existence, philosophy is the study of all things. Kumbaga, pinag-aaralan lahat. For example, a psychologist. Ano bang pinag-aaralan ng mga psychologists? Of course, we have mind and behavior. Theologians. Ano ba pinag-aaralan nila? We have about God. So when we talk about philosophy, it is the study of all things. So it comes from the Greek word philo, which means to love. And then we have Sophia, which means wisdom. And it is originally meant as love of wisdom. So by the way, the goal of philosophy we have wisdom. Ano nga ba pag sinabi natin wisdom? Is it knowledge? So this is not just only knowledge, okay? Kumbaga, when we talk about knowledge, alam mo lang. No? Alam mo yung bagay na yun. Pero kung ikaw ay may wisdom, alam mo yung bagay na yon at alam mo kung paano mo siya gagamitin ng tama at mabuti. That is what we call as wisdom. It was coined by Pythagoras, a scientist and mathematician who was best known for his Pythagorean theorem. And under ng branch na ito, we have aesthetic. Under ng aesthetic, yung tinatawag nating art, where when we talk about aesthetic, it is the philosophical study of beauty and also taste. Di ba? Meron tayong 5 branches of philosophy. We have metaphysics, ethics, epistemology, logic, and also aesthetic. So for aesthetic, it has something to do with beauty and taste. So let us proceed with ano naman ang view ni Plato about the art. So Plato, or sa kanyang tunay na pangalan na Aristophanes, born in Athens, he was nicknamed Plato because of his physical build, which means wide, malapad yung kanyang shoulders. Plato left Athens for 12 years after the death of Socrates. He believed that philosophy is more than analysis, but rather uh, it is a way of life. So ano naman yung view ni Plato about art? Sabi niya, art as an imitation. In Plato's The Republic, paints a picture of artists as imitators, kumbaga manggagaya, and art as mere imitation, ginaya mo lang. In his description of the ideal republic, Plato advises against the inclusion of art as a subject in the curriculum and the banning of artists in the republic. Alisin daw natin yung credit ng taong gumawa na yon. Kasi lahat naman ng art na ginagawa natin ay imitation lamang, no? Kumbaga copy lang from others. So let us see kung ano nga ba yung truth sa paniniwala ni Plato. So in Plato's metaphysics or view of reality, the things in this world are only copies of the original, the eternal and the true entities that can only be found in the world of forms. For example, the chair that one sits on it is not a real chair. It is an imperfect copy of the perfect chair in the world of forms. Kung napag-aralan nyo yung understanding the self before, we have the theory of forms. No? Ito yung sinasabi ni Plato. Now, when we talk about forms, ang forms daw ay sensible, unchanging, and perfect. So, nasan ba yung katotohanan when we talk about world of forms? Okay, since laging sinasabi ni Plato na lahat daw ng artists ay imitators, no? And lahat ng ginagawa nila ay imitation lang. So, nasan ba yung katotohanan for Plato? So, magbibigay ako ng example para mas maintindihan siya. So, ang pinakaibig sabihin ni Plato dito, halimbawa, pinag-drawing ko kayo ng circle. Sabi ko sa inyo, ay mag-drawing kayo ng perfect circle. So, pansinin nyo, magkakaiba kayo ng way or ng shape kung paano nyo ito-drawing yung circle. Right? So, ito yung tinatawag ni Plato na imitation. Pero at the back of your mind, sa isip natin, nakaka-create tayo ng perfect forms. No? Whereas, yun yung sinasabi ni Plato na perfect, unchanging, and sensible. So, example here, ideal perfect cat and imperfect cats. So, for example, ano ba yung thinking or forms pag sinabi nating ideal cat or yung perfect cat natin? Of course, no? Iisipin mo yung mabalbon, yung shiny yung kanyang balahibo, tapos maganda yung mata, no? Very chubby na cat. Pero in a reality, kung magdo-drawing ka ng cat, no? Kung hindi tatlo yung paa, no? Hindi proportion yung katawan, or kaya iba, in short, iba yung ginagawa mo sa naiisip mo. Yung naiisip mo ang perfect, pero yung ginagawa mo ay maraming imperfections. Okay? Next, we have Aristotle. He was student of Plato. So he was a famous philosopher of ancient Greece. He distinguished between what is good and what is beautiful. Kumbaga, some of people ay napagpapareho sila. Ano? So, pinaghiwalay ngayon, ano daw yung mabuti sa maganda. So, magkaiba daw siya. And he stated that the good always present itself in some action, while a thing of beauty may exist even in motionless objects or things. Let us see kung ano naman yung perspective ni Aristotle about art. So according to Aristotle, universal elements of beauty are manifested by order, symmetry, and definiteness. Meaning to say, yung art, yung appreciation niya sa art, or yung maganda para sa kanya, it has something to do with dapat daw ay pantay, no? Kumbaga, may arrangement, maayos, malinis. And also, nakikita mo talaga yung kaniyang, yung things na nasa art piece na ginawa mo. Kumbaga, hindi siya magulo. So, in his Poetics, he stated that physical manifestation of beauty is likewise affected by its size. It should not be super big and even not too small. Dapat pantay lang siya. Meron tayong order, symmetry, and definiteness. And also, Aristotle considered art as an imitation then, just like Plato. Pero ang pinagkaiba nila kay Plato, it has something to do with the theory of forms na from the forms na nabubuo natin sa mind natin, copy lang siya kung ano yung makikreate natin. Okay? And for ano naman, Aristotle, it is an imitation or a representation of nature. So aside from that, his emphasis was on poetry. He stated that poetry was more philosophic and serious than philosophy itself. Poets imitated three things. First, things and events which have been or still are. Second, things which are said to be seen and are probable. And last one, things which is essentially are. Kumbaga yung paggawa ng poetry for Aristotle ay still copy lang din ng mga past events natin, past experiences na meron tayo. Okay, next, we have Immanuel Kant. So, he was a German Enlightenment philosopher. In 1763, he wrote a treatise on aesthetics entitled Observation on the Feelings of Beautiful and the Sublime. His main interest was not in art itself, but on beauty. So let's talk about the subjective and universal according to Kant. First, we have subjective taste. It does not focus on the properties of the object itself, but rather on the pleasure and on experiences as he responds to it. Example, when looking at the painting, what matters is not what the painting is all about or how it is organized, but rather on the emotions that the painting is able to successfully arouse. Kumbaga, when we talk about coming from the words subjective, no, nadadala tayo nung emotions na meron tayo, yung perception natin about the about the things. Kumbaga, pag nakita mo na ang ganda ng colors niya, yun na yung titignan mo na maganda. Hindi na tayo doon sa tinatawag nating paano ba yung detail niya. So, definitely, hindi objective yung tingin natin when we talk about subjective taste. For universal taste, it is non-aesthetic and does not consider the beauty of the work or the mastery of the artist, but rather the artwork is appreciated for what it is. Example, the painting of Mona Lisa is admired because of its popularity and because it was created by Leonardo da Vinci. Kumbaga, dahil creation siya ng famous artist na to, yun na yung thinking natin sa beauty. For example, Sarah Geronimo, no, marami siyang songs. Just because narinig mo the famous singer in the Philippines, we have Sarah Geronimo, andun na agad yung thinking natin na, ay, lahat ng songs niya ay maganda. Again, when we talk about subjective taste, no, nagre-rely tayo based on the things na nakita mo visually, no, hindi na tayo nagche-check ng mga details niya. And in universal taste, just because uh, meron tayong tinatawag na popularity, kumbaga, just because siya ay famous, no, ibig sabihin maganda na rin yung creation niya. Okay. So next, for Immanuel Kant, beauty is a question of form and color, is not important. Color, for him, has nothing to do with the properties of the object, but is only used for its decorative function. Kaya kung mapapansin natin, when we talk about philosophy, magkakaiba tayo kung paano natin, kung ano yung definition natin ng maganda. Maybe sa akin, yes, maganda siya, pero sa iyo hindi. Or vice versa. No? Um, I I think para magkaroon tayo ng ng maayos ng maayos na relationship with each other na walang conflict, no? Let us try to appreciate kung ano man yung perspective ng ibang tao sa maganda at hindi. Okay? Kumbaga magkaroon tayo ng respect sa bawat isa. So two kinds of aesthetic responses for Immanuel Kant. So number one, beauty result in pleasure if there is order, harmony, and also symmetry. And beauty leads to response of awe that overwhelms the viewers of the art. Okay, now let us talk about what is artist and artisan. Let us have a short lang, no, a discussion with this one. So an artist is a person who exhibit exceptional skills in the visual and or the performing arts. Artists are more sensitive, very perceptive, and more creative. While the artisan, on the other hand, it is a person who is in a skilled trade that involves making things by hand. So ano ba yung pinagkaiba nilang dalawa? Example ng artist, pwedeng singers, no, dancers, even pwede rin ng tinatawag nating pagigitara can be example of artist. Even yung mga musical instrument natin, pwede nating i-example as artist. How about the artisan? Of course, yung paggawa ng palayok, even sculpture, pwede natin siya i-example sa artisan as long as gumagamit tayo ng kamay. While artists ay nag-e-entertain tayo. Okay? Next, let us talk about the art forms. Although pag-aaralan natin siya for the next topic natin, bigay lang natin yung kanyang definition. So I know you already have ideas about this one. We have painting, sculpture, architecture, music, dance, literature, and theater. So what is painting? This is best described as the application of pigment to a surface. So I know na sa idea nyo, nakakita naman kayo what is painting. Ano? Next, we have sculpture. So sculptors creates a solid form using molding, carving, welding, casting, and also assembling. We also have architecture. It involves creating designs for buildings and infrastructures. So how about music? This is the art of sound expressed through a song, through the use of instruments or a combination of both. How about dance? The art of body movements that is attuned to a musical piece. So what is literature? The art of using words to express ideas and feelings. And last one, we have theater, the performance of drama. Actors perform on stage in front of live audience. So, try natin okay, to give example dun sa artist and artisan. What if sinabi natin how about literature? Saan siya magpo-fall under? Of course, sa paggawa through using words to express. Of course, papasok ito sa artisan. Okay, how about theater? We have artists. How about dance? Body movements. Of course, artists. So how about music? So it is something to do with expressing sound expressed through a song. What do you think kapag sinabi nating music? So, of course, yung gumamit nun would probably be the artist, and then yung songs mismo, yung lyrics can definitely be the artisan. Next, so what is art appreciation? It is a recognition of good qualities of a person or something, a full understanding of a situation. Synonyms: respect, esteem, and comprehension. Okay, so I know you already know what is appreciation. No, appreciating um, something in a good way. So try to ask yourself, no, as of the moment, may appreciation ka ba ng skills and talent na meron ka? Or andun tayo sa point na malaki pa rin yung insecurities mo? Like, bakit siya magaling sumayaw? Bakit siya magaling siya mag-paint, mag-blend ng colors? Bakit siya magaling siya magawa ng poetry? Magaling siyang magsalita, mag-deliver? Bakit ako hindi? No? Again, let us try to appreciate kung ano man yung talent na meron tayo, yung skills na meron tayo. No? Hindi dapat nagmamatter kung ano man yung perspective ng ibang tao, yung standard ng society na meron tayo, as long as maganda yan sa'yo, no? As long as na-appreciate mo yung sarili mong art piece, yun dapat yung mas nagmamatter sa atin. So, I have here a question also. Is appreciation the same as like or love? Same lang ba yung appreciation and like and love? O palitan natin to. Gawin nating um, end na lang para Is appreciation the same as like and love? Try to answer this one. Okay, nakapag-answer na ba sa mga mind natin? Ano ba yung perspective mo to this question? Same lang ba siya? Ng like and love? Or ng like or love? What is your answer? Yes or no? Of course, uh, the answer for this question ay no. Okay? Tandaan nyo, magkaiba yung appreciation sa gusto mo. No? An example to this one, yung mga babaeng ligawin. No? May mga times na yes, uh, ma-effort yung guy, you appreciate it, pero hindi mo talaga siya gusto at lalong hindi mo siya mahal. At magkaiba yun. Magkaiba yung gusto mo sa na-appreciate mo. Kumbaga, in appreciation, um, in like, nagandahan ka, in appreciation, kumbaga, nabigyan mo lang siya ng ng credits. Kumbaga, yes, basta gumawa siya, no? Basta nakita mo yung effort niya, sige, appreciate natin yung art forms or art piece na ginawa nito. Okay? So next tayo. So how about what is art appreciation? It is a recognition of good qualities and understanding of art. Acquiring knowledge leads to appreciation. Knowing vocabulary, concept, themes, processes, materials, knowing the context does not require liking or loving. So, tulad ng sinasabi ko sa inyo na let us try na i-appreciate yung art na meron tayo. Yung even yung mga nasa paligid natin, no? Stop natin yung yung pagtawa lalo na sa work ng iba kung hindi man maganda mag-drawing or anything as uh, as long as na-appreciate mo yan, no? And then let us try na i-appreciate pa natin yung gawa ng iba and also yung work na ginawa mo in order for us para ma-uplift natin yung self-confidence na meron tayo. Okay? So, I have here a question. So, why do you think we need to appreciate art? Ano ba yung mga possible answers dito? Why do we need to appreciate art? Possible dito na answer na pwedeng to uplift, no? Yung self-confidence ng bawat isa. What more? Why do we need to appreciate art? Because lahat ng art ay may mystery, no? May mystery behind kung bakit siya ginawa. Bawat art ay may soul. That is why we need to appreciate art. So it depends. Very ano naman to. It is something to do with your perspective about this. Very subjective naman siya. Okay? So next. So how to appreciate art when you are not an artist? First, learn a little bit every day. Try an art project. Take a class. Try going to paint night or write what you know. Visit a museum. See through different angles. Analyze one thing. Think about your feelings. Okay. So, answer briefly. In one of your encounters with art, through museum visits, musicals, and plays, among others, have you ever felt disconnected from an artwork? Was there a point in time when you did not understand what message the art was trying to convey. Explain why do you think you did or did not understand the art. Sige nga, magkaroon nga tayo ng self-reflection. No? Kung ano, naka-experience na ba kayo nito na ipapatugtog yung classmate mo ng sobrang lakas, tapos hindi mo maintindihan ano yung pinapatugtog niya, hindi ka makarelate, no? Even pumunta ka na museum, okay, anong meron dito? We have painting, pero hindi mo naman siya na-appreciate. How about yung tipong nanonood ka ng teleserye, for example, or ng movie, tapos hindi ka makarelate dun sa kwento, you feel disconnected. Okay? So, okay. So, thank you for listening. Um, Iwan ko lang to. The art of appreciation begins with self-appreciation. Appreciate natin yung skills and talent na meron tayo, no? Kasi what more yung magiging thinking ng ibang tao kung ikaw mismo sa sarili mo, mababa yung iyong self-confidence. Pangit yung tingin mo sa art piece na ginawa mo, no? Huwag nating i-judge yung sarili natin, okay? Kasi imagine, isipin na lang natin, walang ibang magpe-praise dyan ng sobra kundi yung sarili mo. At dapat nag-start yan sa sarili natin. Okay? Once again, I am Sir John Riel Banson Nabia. If may mga questions kayo, open naman yung ating group chat. So hopefully, kahit paano ay may natutunan in this lesson, mas naging clear yung readings natin, and laging tatandaan na magkaroon tayo ng self-appreciation. No? Okay? So thank you so much and God bless us all.